Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Toby Rosario, and in today's video, what we're going to talk about is how to. I made a part one of how to find the hottest zip codes in any market. I'm going to do a part two and get a little bit more in depth as to what I look for and things like that. So you're going to come to list source, okay? You're going to come to list source, and you're going to go to county and go to county. Select your state. Let's just select. Texas. Let's just pick a county here. Harris County. Okay. So look how that's huge. First thing I like to do is just kind of get it out of the way. Go to absentee. I exclude that. Trust owned. No preference to corporate owned. So I dropped it from 1.3, 1 point whatever million it was to 300,000. Then I go to property type. Then I want to pick property type. So you can narrow it. You can do single family, triplex, duplex, quads, condos, townhomes, things like that. But for this example, we're going to stick with single family residence. Okay. Then you're going to go to last market sell date, last 6 months. So go to last 6 months. Okay. And then you can go to equity. Okay. And you put 99, and then you would put 100. Essentially what that means is it's going to show records. It's going to reflect people who essentially who have 100% equity, meaning they bought all cash. Okay, so then you would do that. You can also play around with, if I find it here, give me 1 second. You can go to assess value, total assess value, and you can pick the range you want to be in as far as what the records show as the assessed value. So you can go from 100,000 depending on your market to 300,000. For this example, we're going to go to 300. Okay, so that's going to drop that number down. Okay, so we have the county, equity, last market sale date 6 months. You can last 12 months, last 3 months. 6 months is a good range because it's kind of right in the middle and it's a little bit more recent. Okay, so you're going to do that. I exclude trust owned, so let's just go here. I exclude trust owned and no preference. Corporate owned, it just means like it will essentially bought in an LLC. So you're gonna go to purchase list. Now obviously you know we're not gonna actually purchase the list. Then you go to custom selection, zip code. Okay? And these are all the zip codes. Then you're gonna hit export, put your address in here. Houston zips. Then you hit submit. Okay, this is what it's gonna look like. Then you hit download. Actually, you just go to. You can save it to your drive. So we're gonna open it up with Google Sheets. Okay. What I like to do is delete this. Delete all of this. Well, alright, then you just go to so these are the top zip codes. So here's what I like to do. I like to really focus on, so I like anything, I remove anything that's not in the top 15. We're going to delete that. It just doesn't make any sense to focus on where there hasn't been a lot of transactions. So I like to delete that. Okay. Now here's where it gets a little interesting. So what you're gonna find is if you put this zip code, the top zip code usually what you're gonna find is this zip code usually is it's an area where it's like the values are not there. The lower, it's like a lower end area, and the reason that is, it makes sense because the prices in that range usually are a lot. You know, you can pay a lot easier with cash because it's a lot cheaper. It's not a $300,000 home. So these are the top zip codes I like to focus on. Now, here's another little trick that I like to do. Okay, so we're gonna so what I like to do is what you're gonna do is, I don't like that color. Let's do blue. Okay, and here's why I did that. So this right here. So what I like to do is scale in, laser focus, and then scale out. Scale out. What I mean by that is, so if these are the top 15 zip codes in that particular county, right? These are the top zip codes, and they're probably the most competitive. So the top wholesalers in that zip code are buying properties. They're spending a lot more money in marketing. So I like to stay kind of it. If you're on a budget, what you can do is really focus in on anywhere from 4 to 8 or 5 to 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, and like just pick 2 to 4 zip codes and really laser focusing on that. You can spend a lot of you're gonna spend a lot less marketing, but you can really focus and narrow down a handful of zip codes. The demand is still there, but it's not as competitive as the top 4, top 5, and you can consistently market to that zip code. So these are going to be the low-hanging fruit. So it's good to so for this example, what I would do if I were going into this market, I would focus on this zip code right here. Okay, we're going to focus on that zip code. So I'm just going to pick one zip code. So that's a pretty good amount of transactions, 102. So I'm going to focus on just that one zip code. And then I'm going to really pound that zip code with marketing consistently. You're going to either do direct mail. I have the links below. You can do, and you can you can stack the list for that one zip code. You can cold call. You can RVM. You can do Facebook. And you can do driver for dollars in that particular zip code. And then what you can do, after you've gotten a few deals, then you scale out. So you can go to the next zip code. So I would dominate these 5 zip codes, these 1, 2, 3, 4 zip codes right here. I would really zone in and focus on these. I would focus on one, and then I would scale out. I would move on to the next one, and then so on and so forth. And then you can scroll all the way up and start getting into the more competitive zip codes, all the way up into 1. So just focus on one and then scale out. So scale in and then scale out to focus on the other zip codes. And that's essentially what I would do to kind of get started. I would focus on one. I would do driver for dollars in that area. I would do cold calling. I would do RVMs. I would do bandit signs. I would do direct mail. I would just focus on that one zip code, scale in, laser focus, sniper, and then focus, and then scale out, and then move on to the next zip code, and then so on and so forth, rinse and repeat until you can dominate the top 15 zip codes. So I have the links below as to where you can do the direct mail, and you can do the list stacking and things like that. So let me know if you kind of like this content. Let me know down below, and if you find this video to be helpful, let me know so I can continue to do some of these videos. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up, and also share this video if you found some value.